for 8, 9 years, we've spent about $1 billion of the taxpayers' money to develop hybrid vehicles. And ironically, the U.S. car companies didn't put any hybrids on the road. And in fact, the minute George Bush got elected president, the U.S. car companies walked away from hybrids. But, and this is the irony, the U.S. program got the Japanese very nervous. So Toyota and Honda, in response, developed hybrids because they didn't want to be beaten by the U.S.
Now they lure people into thinking they're doing something by their sweet talk, but I remember way back yonder they used to have this joke, and it's not a joke anymore. We're giving the environmentalists the music and the industry the action.
The second step toward making America less dependent on foreign oil is to produce and refine more crude oil here at home in environmentally sensitive ways. By far the most promising site for oil in America is the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in Alaska.
While it is predicted that the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge could supply America with slightly more than 1 year's supply of oil, simply raising fuel economy standards to 40 miles per gallon could save the same amount of fuel within 15 years.
The oil industry and the automobile companies are resistant to change. The American people need to be reminded that it took a law to get seatbelts in the cars. It took a law to get airbags in the cars. It took a law to get the mileage up from 12 to 20 miles per gallon. It took a law to get catalytic converters to control the pollution. And I think clean cars are too important to be left to the automobile industry.
The California mandate forced automakers to make electric cars. When California changed it, the cars vanished. Why did California retreat from the bold law it created?
Having visited all the car companies, they were saying, well, look, we can't produce these increasing numbers of the battery electric vehicles. And I became convinced that what are we supposed to do here? Is our job to clean the air? Or is it to force a certain number of a type of technology on the road?
Alan Lloyd failed in his leadership to really steer the zero-emission vehicle mandate toward a successful outcome.
Oh, I know Alec very well. I know Alec very well, and we had some heartfelt memos going back, and it pained me because I have the utmost respect for Alec, and it really pained me to be accused of basically abandoning the battery electrics.
In addition to his role as chairman of the Air Resources Board, Alan Lloyd had another position. Just 4 months before the meeting that killed the electric car, Lloyd accepted the chairmanship of the California Fuel Cell Partnership.
I've been involved with hydrogen since the early 90s. When I became chair of ARB 10 years later, I knew a lot about hydrogen. So for me, I'm very much fact, technology driven. And so maybe you can say that's an asset or a handicap in terms of hydrogen, because I knew what could be done.
Excuse me here, I want to watch my little baby get off here.
Car makers convinced California that the facts supported the development of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Were they a better option than electric cars? Toyota's National Manager of Advanced Technologies, Bill Reinert, took their prototype hydrogen fuel cell SUV on a press tour.
One of our customers really didn't like this car anywhere near as much as his EV1, and the reason was not because it had anything but bad about the car. The reason was because his EV1, he could charge it at home, charge it at work, and even though it provided limited range, he didn't have to worry about getting his car charged up. With this car, with a limited access to a hydrogen filling station, he said he'd spend his whole day planning how to get hydrogen in the car and how to get back. It's really humbling. The more you know, the more you realize you really don't know what the issues are going to be going forward.
The number one worst question is when will that be on the market? When will that be on the market? That's the worst question.
Consumers are probably going to want to know how long it would be for this to be mass-produced.
That's quite a ways off.
We've got some real technical issues we've got to solve with hydrogen storage, with durability, with cost reduction.
Is it a practical solution at this point?
The cars have a limited range. The durability of the cars isn't so very good. And the, let me see what else. Oh, they don't do well in cold weather. Other than that, they're great.
Have you ever been to a dog race? You know, there's the mechanical rabbit that's out in front, and the dogs never quite reach it. Well, the fuel cell is the equivalent of that mechanical rabbit. We're going for it. For the last 15 years, they've been telling us the fuel cells are 10 to 15 years off.
You're an oil company. Your business is to be selling a fuel. They think that it's a long time off, 30 years, and they want to have a product to sell. So from that point, they're protecting themselves. But the other side is they're protecting the status quo. We see in Scientific American a double-page ad by General Motors and Shell both, touting both the fuel cell that General Motors is doing and also Shell as a potential supplier of hydrogen. If hydrogen can do a better job as an energy carrier than electricity, then by gosh, it should be the carrier of choice. The problem is, it's not even close.
How far will this car ride on elemental fuel? It gets approximately about, maybe about 100, 125 miles.
A fuel cell car powered by hydrogen made with electricity uses 3 to 4 times more energy than a car powered by batteries.
This is the beginning of some fantastic technology, and thanks for having us out here. We're going to look at some other vehicles in a minute, but hydrogen is the wave of the future.
Today, there's a lot of enthusiasm for hydrogen cars, but I wrote a whole book, The Hype About Hydrogen. I think it's pretty clear that hydrogen is a much tougher alternative fuel than any other alternative fuel we've ever pursued. So these are the 5 miracles that you need to successful hydrogen car in the marketplace. First, your average hydrogen car costs $1 million. That's got to drop. Second, no known material to humankind can store enough hydrogen on board the car to give you the range people want. Miracle number 3 is the fuel is wildly expensive. Even hydrogen from dirty fossil fuels is 2 or 3 times more expensive than gasoline. Fourth, you have to have the fueling infrastructure. We have 180,000 gas stations. Someone's going to have to build at least 10 or 20,000 hydrogen fueling stations before anybody is going to be very interested. And miracle 5 is you have to hope and pray that the competitors in the marketplace don't get any better. Because right now, the best car in the marketplace just got a lot better. The hybrid vehicle still runs on gasoline. You can fuel it everywhere. It has twice the range of a regular car.
Current hybrid vehicles depend on gasoline, but use an electric motor to increase their fuel economy.
And if battery technology keeps getting steadily better, then the best hybrid and then plug-in hybrid in the year 2020 will be vastly superior to the best hydrogen car.
You guys have filmed me long enough to know that, I like to hear myself talk, number 1. And number 2, that I'm not going to dance around the issue. And these could be a long ways out into the future. Toyota says fuel cell cars 30 years away. Okay, then I get the calls from the DOE and the state of California and what in the hell are you doing and all the other fuel cell manufacturers. We're trying to make a living here and you saying this and it's awful. Just because a lot of people want it to work, it's no guarantee. That's Disneyland, wishing makes it come true. So I don't work in Disneyland. I work in the real world where wishing doesn't make it come true and you've really got to work hard to make it come true. Hopefully we do.
On the 27th day of their vigil, activists finally heard from GM.
Paul Scott called. Are you guys busy? They're calling in the cars right now. GM is loading the cars on trucks right now. We're like, what? Well, yeah, we'll drop everything and run on down there right now.
See, a media blast is going out.
Okay.
Tunnels are closed. They loaded them up. Tires screeching and panels cracking against each other as they shoved them onto the truck.
We're up against most of the money in the world. We're up against the oil industry, the automobile industry. It's David versus Goliath.